Welcome in, Warhammer friends, to our narrative-driven Total War Warhammer Immortal Empires campaign, where we are playing as Queen Marisith of the Laurelorn Forest Wood Elf faction. To recap the last episode, we were testing our might against the Black Pit Greenskin tribe, and after destroying them, we decided to recruit additional forces such as Treemen, and a whole bunch of regiments of renowned units such as the Zotes, and also Ancient Treemen, which we will be throwing our full might to take out Kazrak One-Eye on turn 1. This is a bit of a risky maneuver just because he is a legendary lord that's going to be a massive threat to us in the later stages if we don't take care of him sooner. But even with our regiments of renown, I have a gut feeling this may be a close victory or maybe even a valiant defeat. But we have to utilize everything at our disposal for ourselves and also for the sake of our empire neighbors too, which we have a tentative relationship. We start off with a defensive alliance with Nordland, who will act as a buffer zone against the Norskins and Chaos Hordes coming down south to pillage. We also have somewhat of a good relationship with Boris Todbringer and the Middenheim units. Plus also we will need to make peace and also have good relations with Hawkland as they are dealing with Festus the Leech Lord in this area here. But first and foremost, we have to get rid of these Beastmen. So we're going to throw our full might. Alright, this is listed as a decisive victory, but because I do want this to be a narrative-driven campaign, I will fight this battle manually. I'm going to give this banner of Laurelorn to our Great Stag Knights. Well, specifically, the Regiment of Renown. And because I also want to really showcase an epic battle between our forces and everything that Kazrak has to throw at us. Well, not everything, because we are cheesing it by not allowing his heroes to be embedded in his army either. We did ally with Middenheim and officially got some money out of them to attack the Warheard of the One-Eye too. So we're acting as somewhat mercenary forces with the Queen Marisith, but let's see how this battle goes. This may potentially turn into a close victory because I think the auto-resolve is being a little bit too generous with us, even with our regiments of renown. But let's see how it goes. I'll talk about my specific battle strategies as we're setting our forces up. Taking a look at our battle formation here, we have our main force of Eternal Guards and Archers, somewhat corner camping here, supported by our Gyran Zotes. So what the Zotes will do is they will provide physical resistance with one of their bound spells, and also they do have another spell that heals with Vigor. I'm also holding Durthu's Wargrove Ancient Treemen units in reserve too, hidden, just in case things get a little bit too close for comfort. I'm also holding back the majority of our Dryad units to make an interception and surprise attack if a massive force does come over on the left flank. If not, then we will just use it to overwhelm the left flank and also envelop them, hopefully. I'm also having Queen Marisith and her Glade Captain hidden in reserve too, alongside our Dryad forces, to assassinate Kazrak and to hopefully intercept him too. Like I was saying before, thankfully he doesn't have any heroes embedded into his army. This is somewhat like a blitz as well, with our cavalry forces of Great Stag Knights hidden in Vanguard deployment here. And also I do plan to use our Stag Chariots to lay waste and also to harass possibly their Minotaurs. Now the secret weapon I want to talk about here is I do want to use Ladrio's Wolves to spawn on top of their Razorgore chariots. Essentially what these are they're basically spirit wolves. I do want them to be used to decimate the Razorgore chariots and potentially take out the Chaos Warhounds. The Chaos Warhounds, they're not really too much of a major threat to me, but I do want to have domination over the battlefield with our fast units, and the Chaos Warhounds could potentially tie down some of my cavalry units too. So once Ladriel's Wolves are available for us, I do want to spawn them right on top of their chariots. I'm a little bit concerned with their movement now too. I can't tell if they're planning on making a frontal attack now. If they do, I may need to use my chariots to assault theirs immediately, and they might just have to force my hand too. So we'll get our chariots to start open firing on them. Fall back. Great Stag Knights charge into them. Continuing to fire. Ladriel's Wolves are now available, so we're going to spawn them on top of the Chaos Warhounds. Because they're a summon unit, I don't mind if they are destroyed and decimated. We will just get them again for the next few battles. And these are going to be our harassing units too. Shattered that unit there. Return into hiding. Alright, I need those Chaos Warhounds off the battlefield. It's going to be a long while until Ladriel's Wolves will be available for us to spawn again. Until that time, keep harassing their Chaos Warhounds. I'm also semi-concerned about attacking these Warhounds too, because of the fact that they're being supported by the Minotaurs with shields. If possible, run them off the battlefield. Our morale for Ladriel's current spawn of wolves is still fairly high. We are getting harassed by the Centaurs though. Alright, we've lost that unit of Ladriel's Wolves there. Broken, damage sustained. I am also using a mod that makes summons permanent, which in my opinion, it's very much lore friendly, and also it does make the summons overpowered, but at the same time insanely more useful too. Right, their army is a little bit too grouped together, but also this unit of Warhounds could potentially be destroyed there. Yeah, I do want to completely decimate that unit. Doesn't look like their Warheard is triggered by this unit of Ladriel's Wolves. Not yet. Alright, that's it, my boys. Eat them alive. Alright, looks like the Centaurs with great weapons are going to be a bit of a problem there. Completely forgot about them. Ladriel's Spirit Wolves in full retreat too. Right, then I do want to be smart about my plan of attack here. Alright, do not charge into those units yet. Alright, looks like those Warhounds are completely ridden off the battlefield. I'm wondering if we could possibly bait their Centaurs into attacking our wolf units here. There is one more unit of Chaos Warhounds that I frankly would like to take out, potentially. Alright, so we know they're hidden there. I don't want to draw their minotaurs into attacking us just yet. We can just debate them. Alright, minotaurs with shields and chaos warhounds are a little bit too close for comfort for us. Just need to make sure that they can actually smell us here. Alright, they've taken the bait. Don't want to send my great stag knights in though. What I do want to do though is utilizing my chariots to harass and make assaults on their minotaurs. Alright, come on, get out of there. Alright, they've spotted my stag knights, unfortunately. Full retreat. Alright, go. Intercept them. Yeah, this might be a precarious situation for us because of those centaurs. Alright, we might actually be fighting on two fronts here, friends. Alright, let's... Best choice here is to divide their forces. Our micromanagement has to be completely spot on here, my friends. The entire goal should be to separate their forces as much as possible. Alright, we've drawn the ire of their minotaurs with shields, so let's get our chariots to fall back to our main force. This is definitely going to tire out their units too. And this does look like a really bad situation, but we are doing our main job of harassing their army, and we've completely, not completely split off their forces, but we've definitely divided them. Alright, we are currently outspeeding them. Alright, we've broken their warhounds again, decimating them down to less than 20% too. Centaurs are still going to be an issue for us, and also our chariots. That was some poor micromanagement on my end there. If we lose one chariot, then I'll accept that consequence. Alright, Tree Man. Gonna need you to intercept those forces there. Alright, thankfully we have all 4 chariots somehow. Chariots retreat to the main front line. Alright, well, they've unfortunately not taken the bait. Alright, looks like their main force is closing in now. Alright, Treemen, close in and overwhelm those minotaurs. Alright, Marisith and Glade Captain stay hidden. Alright, we might lose a lot of our tree men here, actually. Alright, we are a little bit too blobbed up, so... Fall back there. Archers, focus fire on these Minotaurs here. Chariots, continue your support there. Treemen, focus your efforts on these Centaurs here. Alright, and let's have our knights support them too. Minotaurs are backing off, so we should focus our effort on those Bestigo hordes. Chariots, continue your fire on those Minotaurs. Alright, we are close to enveloping them here, actually. Great Stag Knights, get yourself out of there. The Bestigors with great weapons may be an issue, though. But we pulled off a hammer and anvil charge there. Alright, get out of there now. Keep decimating those Minotaurs. Alright, I probably should have used a physical resistance spell there too. But we can at least cast it on our cavalry. Alright, let's see how our treemen are doing. Alright, focus your efforts on those Minotaurs. Alright, Marisith, Blade Captain. Open fire on Kazrak, assassinate him as much as you can. Archers, continue your efforts, firing upon the Warheard. Eternal Guard, charge in. Alright, Minotaurs, those need to be taken out immediately. Alright, I am actually a little bit concerned about our front line potentially crumbling and losing a lot of treemen there. Yeah, they are in full retreat, unfortunately. Great Stag Knights. Let's have you actually charge in here. Wait, before charging in, take out those Centaur units. They're going to harass our heroes. Alright, get rid of those great weapons. Alright, Treeman, get rid of those Minotaurs. Alright, we'll need to force our hand and use our Treemen here to crush those units. Chariots, let's have you focus on Kazrak. Alright, they're completely broken now. Let's run down the rest of their units. Everyone, focus your fire and efforts on assassinating Kazrak here. We actually might not get him, unfortunately. No losses to our cavalry units, surprisingly. But I do want to take out as much of their army as possible here. So let's completely destroy those Minotaur units, Great Stag Knights, cut down their Bestigo horde. Alright, Kazrak, you got away. May live to fight another day here, unfortunately. Doesn't mean we can't absolutely demolish the rest of your army. Yeah, those Bestigors with great weapons could have definitely been a huge issue for us. considering they could have easily taken out our Great Stag Knights and even our Chariots too. Zotsai could have used their Flesh to Stone spell sooner rather than later. But I think giving physical resistance to our knights was the good call there at the last second. Also, for viewers in the comments, please let me know what you would have done differently in the battle if you would have used Ladriel's wolves to harass or decimate a different kind of unit. I specifically wanted to get rid of the fast Chaos Warhounds that Kazrak had. And also, let me know too if you would have used a different tactic rather than my setup battle formation there too. I do genuinely like it when people comment on things that I can improve on, and just overall help me become a better commander too. I absolutely love the designs and animations of the Great Stag Knights, and also lost my train of thought there, but what I was going to say is I was mainly trying to see if I could have some mismatches when it came to engagements with this battle here too. And really just trying to play to the Wood Elves' strengths of both hit and run tactics and also superior archery too. Alright, still counted as a decisive victory. Taking a look at the post-battle stats, 943 versus Kazrak's 800, loss of 354, loss of more than half of Kazrak's forces too, massive losses to his Bestigor herds, Chaos Warhounds decimated. Now this unit here, the Minotaur, I personally would have liked to have killed off potentially. Razorgore Chariots taken out as well. Now what I'm hoping in the next battle is that we don't go up against too much force when it comes to Kazrak. We'll of course still need to fight against himself, maybe a unit or two of Centaurs, and also at least half a unit of Minotaurs too. Taking a look at our force, we did lose a lot of our treemen. I also personally believe I could have used the treemen better in that battle in terms of unleashing them later rather than forcing my hand because of those Centaurs that were getting a little too close to my front line. My initial plan was to envelop their Centaurs with our treemen, but they backed off, saw my ploy being used. But thankfully, we were able to save our main damage dealers and also not lose too many regiments of renown. I also probably could have used the treemen or unleashed them earlier in the battle too. But nonetheless, we'll make up for it with the follow-up attack against the Herd of the One Eye. Now, despite it being a decisive victory, I can't help but feel it should be more so of a close victory, especially with the losses of two of our treeman units. However, it is good that most of the Bestigor and also at least one unit of Minotaurs were decimated in that process too. The treasury would be very tempting right now, especially because we are in the negatives because of our regiments of renown, but I really should go with the army replenishment here, especially just because after defeating Kazrak, we should move on to taking out Festus and the Nurgle faction in Hawkland too. Now, despite Kazrak surviving, his faction is completely dead, so we don't have to worry about the Beastmen in our backyard. But we do have to worry about Festus, so we're going to take our main army here.
Beginning my journey. Seeking unseen paths.
Alright, so we're somewhat on the border of our land and also Middenheim. Middenheim might not be a big fan of that, but we do need to cross your border, Boris, in order to help our friends in Hochland. I might potentially put Queen Marisith in forced march stance, just because we don't have to worry about any threats as of right now. But what we need to also do is we should recruit another lord. Yes, we are in the negative still. And specifically what I need is a caster. So we're going to go with a spell weaver, lore of life. Let's see what is available to us. Just leadership bonuses, but that will have to do for now.
My song grows louder.
And to bolster our forces, we'll go with Glade Guard. And also it looks like we can recruit some mercenary units too. So I do want to bring some Empire archers and also Empire spearmen to our army. We can just roleplay it as Boris lending us these mercenaries or allowing us to recruit some Empire men in our fight against Festus, or our upcoming fight, I should say, against Festus. Now, clicking on Hochland, we do have a non-aggression pact with them. We secured that right before attacking Kazrak. And they are currently at war with the Fecundites, or Fecundites, if you really want to go with that. It's very tempting to declare war now, but I do not want to declare war until I'm within striking distance of Festus. Speaking of diplomacy, let's see if we can secure any more alliances or improve relations too. Thankfully, we don't have to deal with any kind of elector count, confederation, or weird mechanic that the Empire does have. I don't want to go too much on a rant about that now. Alright, I don't want to deal with Norska just yet. Actually, friends, I really messed up here too. So what I should have done actually is I should have sent Marisith over to the Black Pit tribe, wipe out these greenskin units, because while they're not as much of a threat to us as Kazrak, they are still a threat. And also by taking the Black Pit homeland, we can eventually sell it and gain some relations and gold from Middenheim or one of the other elector counts too. But we'll save that for the next episode, my friends. For that, we're going to be utilizing our combined force of Wood Elves and a couple of mercenary units from the Empire to assault the Black Pit tribe, and then hopefully secure our backyard before moving on to Festus and helping out the rest of the Empire in general. I really love this campaign because of the fact that we're in massive amounts of central conflict that all of the elector counts have to deal with, but also we're fighting from a different perspective too. So it's almost like we're the allies that are not necessarily invading the Empire, but just trying our best to help our forest survive while also helping our allies survive at the same time. It's more like a mutually assured protection. But also for any returning and new viewers, if you've made it this far into the video, thank you so much for taking the time to check out this narrative-driven campaign. Let me know in the comments if there are any improvements that you would like to see in the near future, or any other modded factions that you would like to see me cover for more story campaigns like this. Until then, I'll save you a seat for those adventures, friends. Take care and farewell.